Hi everybody, this is Cheryl Richardson, and it's that time of week again for Facebook Live coaching session. I'll wait a couple of minutes for all of you to sign on. And for those of you that don't know who I am, I'm an author of 6 books, soon to be 7 at the end of the year. My first 2 books were called Take Time for Your Life and Life Makeovers, and they were the basis for the Lifestyle Makeover series on the Oprah Winfrey Show. I spent about a year doing that show, helping people to improve the quality of their lives in a variety of ways, and then went on to write other books related to the inner work we need to do in order to build our self-esteem and confidence. And then, so I sort of moved from the outer world and Take Time for Your Life and Life Makeovers, managing your busy outer life, into growing up emotionally, and then eventually publishing The Unmistakable Touch of Grace, which is about spiritual well-being, honoring our spiritual well-being. So I'm a coach. I've been coaching for many years, about 20 years now, and I love working with people, helping them to live a life that's sort of more aligned with their soul. And I'm here to help you do a little bit of that today. So I'll be taking questions in just a few minutes, and any resources that I give out today, I'll be sure to post in this post afterwards. And I just want to say a couple things. First of all, if you want to know when these Facebook Lives are going to happen, you just want to look up at the sign up button. There's a blue sign up button. If you click on that button, it will connect you to my weekly newsletter. And in there, I include a blog for the week's special announcements, and I always talk about these live sessions when it's going to happen during the week and any other events that I'm doing. So you want to sign up for the newsletter if you haven't. And also, when you sign up, if you're not a member, you'll also get access to a really great interview I did with Bruce Lipton, the author of Biology of Belief, among many books. It's a fascinating conversation about the science of self-care, and I really love that man, and he's incredibly bright, and there's lots of really good information about the mind-body connection and why it makes good sense health-wise for us to take good care of ourselves. So that would be a good idea for you to listen to that interview with Bruce Lipton. Also, if you hear rumbling, we're in the middle of thunderstorms here, and my cat, Mr. Poupon, has chosen to run around like a crazy cat, playing with one of his toys. He keeps coming in here, like flipping it up in the air. So if you see a toy fly by, that's Poupon. So, oh, and there goes the thunder. Hey, Christy, welcome. I'm glad you're here. It'd be a good opportunity for you to learn about Facebook Live. And Robin, my sweetheart, I'm glad you're here too. And Heather, Abby, Doreen, Ann, Donna, Tisa, Frederick, Vivian, hello to everybody, Alejandra, and Marianne. Welcome everybody. So this is a chance for you to ask questions, anything that might be on your mind. The more specific, the better. Hey Karen, welcome. I'm glad you're here too. Another great way to learn about Facebook Live. Oh, Susanna, you're terrified of thunderstorms. Well, I have to tell you, I used to be really terrified of them too, and some members of my family are. Partly because when I was a young girl, I think I was 10 or 11, my mother was struck by lightning, and she lived to talk about it. and I remember that day well. It was really scary. So it took me a long time. Tapping actually works really, really well for fear of thunderstorms, although I haven't, well, I was going to say I haven't had a fear of thunderstorms in many years. If Michael were here, he'd say, not so much, because if we have storms here, we live up on a hill, and sometimes they land right on top of us, and it's, lightning, bang, and it's really scary. And I do get a little nervous, so anyway. Hey, Karen from Australia, and Susan from St. Pete, and Anne from Cape Cod, love Cape Cod, waiting for the water to get warm enough to body surf. Okay, so you can post your questions, and I'll scroll through and read them and do my best to give you a little bit of coaching and maybe some resources and support. While we're getting questions on here, I see some of you are starting to post. Hey, Sama from Paris, and Mark, welcome. Yeah, feel free to feel free to share the video too. If there's someone you know that you think might be interested, go ahead and click share and let them know about our live coaching session. And of course, oh, that's the other thing I want to tell all of you. The live coaching sessions will now are now uploaded to my YouTube channel, which is Cheryl Richardson TV. Every week they're uploaded, and we also I've been, my great assistant Donna Rabate is editing the closed captioning. So there's also closed captioning, so you can read what I'm saying for those of you that need that kind of assistance. We're just editing them to make sure they're accurate. Donna's doing a great job with that as well. So yeah, thank you, Teresa, for sharing. I do want to say I saw 2 movies that I really liked that I wanted to just mention. One was Wonder Woman, and I'm sure a lot of you may have seen it already or heard about it. I mean, I wasn't as blown away as a lot of people were. I thought some of it was a little kind of hokey, but I loved who she was and what she stood for. And for those of you that are into the Enneagram, like I am, she was a type 2. And Chris Pine, I forget, he plays, he plays the other hero, and I can't remember his name, but he was a type, I think 6. I think he was like a 6. Anyway, it was a really good movie, and I loved the message, that love wins, and that love heals. That's really what I want to say. And I love the whole empowered women message. I thought it was really fascinating. There's a part in the beginning of the movie where Chris Pine is explaining to her about his watch and how he keeps time with his watch. And he says to her, oh, where she comes from, there is no time, which is really quite interesting. And he says to her, oh, this tells me when to eat, when to go to sleep, when to wake up, when to go to work, all of those sorts of things. And she looks at him like he's strange. And she says, really, that little thing tells you when to eat and when to go to sleep? You listen to that little thing? And I thought, there's a real kind of global metaphor in that. Yes, Christy, you're just like Wonder Woman. You have to see the movie. There's a real metaphor, or just, I don't know, it was like an existential moment for me, because I thought, we really do live by this linear thing called time, and we are so much more than that. We are spiritual beings. We are, love incarnate, and souls who come here to the planet, and we need time. I mean, yeah, that's sort of what he was saying. We need time in order to be able to function in this world. But we're so much more than that, and it's so easy to forget. And so, anyway, I loved that movie, and I would encourage you to check it out. The other movie I saw came as a recommendation from Chris Northrup. She mentioned it, I think it was on her Facebook page, with Sally Field, called My Name is Alice. I don't know if you've seen that. It was out a year ago. It got a lot of buzz and then sort of went away. It's a really wonderful movie. Sally Field is an amazing actress, and she absolutely should have gotten a nomination or an award. I don't know if she was nominated, but she should have gotten an award. But it's this really kind of, she's irreverent, and she lives with her mother, and the movie starts with the death of her mother, who was a hoarder, as well as Sally Field plays a hoarder, Alice. And it's what happens as she tackles that. My name is Alice. Thank you, Lee. It's what happens when how she comes to life and finds aliveness again in her life, and then tackles the hoarding problem. So anyway, it was a great movie, and you can get it. I think I saw it either on Netflix or Amazon. I know I watched it on TV, so check it out. I think you'll like it. All right, time for questions, shall we? Let me take a little sip of water, and then we'll get started. All right, put on my glasses and scroll through here and see what we got. I'm going to scroll back a little bit to get to the people who came in early and posted questions. So let's see. Thanks, Geraldine. I appreciate that. Okay. Let's see if I can. Hi, Cheryl. So Marianne, thank you for taking the time to do these Facebook Lives. You're very welcome. Here's my question. I've very recently started my coaching and organizing business in French. I've been asked to do a video interview by a colleague and friend of mine for her Facebook community in English. Yeah, increases this level of stress. I can imagine if I had to do it in Spanish, it would be scary. Since I haven't been doing this for long, I don't feel as comfortable with the content as I would like to. How do you suggest I prepare for this? Well, Marianne, honestly, my first thought is maybe you tell her that you're so appreciative of the invitation and that you would really love to consider doing that, but that you can't do it just yet. See, I'm a big believer whenever we start out with public speaking, teaching, anything where you're in front of people, Facebook Live, it's a very vulnerable act to put yourself out. I mean, I'm talking to a little phone. I mean, I see all of you and I feel connected to you all because I've been doing this a long time. I've been on radio, I've done television. If not, it's a very vulnerable thing. And I'm not sure I would want to put myself out there without practicing a little bit first somewhere else, number one. But more importantly, you want to be comfortable about the material that you have. So sometimes, this is why I always say don't quit your day job, right? Because if you don't need the money when you're building your business, then you're able to be very strategic and smart about the choices you make. So for example, Marianne, in your case, you can say, you know what, I'm not quite ready yet. I want to get really, really confident with my material. I want to really know what I'm doing. And then maybe I'll do some Facebook Lives myself. I'll practice a little bit, but I'm not quite ready yet. You don't necessarily have to say that to her. You can, and let me just see, did she say, yeah, she's a friend of yours. So you probably could just say to her, you know what, I want to get a little more confident with the material, or I really want to get it down. I'm working on it, and when I'm ready, I'll take you up on it. So that's what I would recommend, because it is stressful. Number one, it's stressful when you're just starting out. You know, in the Speak, Write, and Promote program that I teach with Reed Tracy, who's the publisher of Hay House, we always tell people, do a bunch of internet radio shows where like 3 people are listening so that you can suck at it without a big audience. And then you get more comfortable, you get practice. So Marianne, you could even practice delivering your material in English to some friends who speak English in your flat or your apartment or your home, so that you get more comfortable with it. Don't set yourself up to be anxious. You want to be able to be really present for your audience. And it's too easy to feel, I would be anxious. I mean, I'm not fluent in Spanish by any means. I'm just currently studying it. But if I were really good at it, but it wasn't my first language, I probably, I would absolutely be gathering Spanish-speaking friends around and delivering the material to them in my home before I ever did something on Facebook Live. So I hope that's helpful. And good luck to you. I bet you're going to be just fantastic. Just take your time. Take your time. Diana says, hi, Cheryl. I'm in despair. I have several illnesses and recently started losing my hair. I may lose it all or I may not. I feel completely inconsolable. Any advice? Diana, I'm so sorry. And yes, you need support. I don't know what your illnesses are, obviously. I do know what it's like to lose hair. Many years ago in my early 40s, when I suffered from adrenal burnout, I started losing hair, and I started losing a lot of hair. You couldn't tell I have a lot of hair, but I could tell. You know, after the shower, when you start counting the hair that's coming out, it's pretty scary. And so I can really empathize with how scary that is. If it were me, I would absolutely be seeing either a naturopath or a functional medicine doc, somebody who looks at the whole body, not just specific illnesses. Depending on what you have, you may need certain doctors who are experienced in your particular kind of illness. But if it's anything systemic, like, you know, Epstein-Barr, chronic fatigue, if it's, excuse me, if it's, you know, fibromyalgia, any kind of autoimmune disease, for example, you want somebody who treats the whole body. And you want to also, I mean, Diana, I think it would be a good idea for you to, if you go to my YouTube channel at Cheryl Richardson TV, just go to youtube.com and search for Cheryl Richardson TV. Do some tapping on the anxiety and the emotional pain about it. And so that you can calm the body's nervous system down. Tapping calms the amygdala down. It calms it supports the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. It will help you to feel less anxious, which is going to help your health all the way around. So go to thetapping-solution.com. I'll make a note about that. Tapping Solution website. Find out, look for some resources there. I will also post the YouTube. There is a specific tapping, excuse me, I've got a little tickle. There's a specific tapping sequence I do on YouTube. It says, tap away your anxiety. And I would check that out, Diana. Go and just do that every day, in the morning and at night. And it will help you. It'll help calm the body down. But do yourself a favor and look for a functional medicine doctor or a naturopath. That's going to be really helpful. And you know what else I'm going to do, Diana, is I'm going to put you in my prayer book, my little prayer book right here. A lot of you know this by now, but Diana and her sweet body. How's that? Okay. Be careful, because miracles can happen when your name goes in this book. I'm planning on it. All right, sweetheart, I wish you all the best. All right, Teresa, you're in Maui, and I'm really jealous. But I'm happy for you, and I hope you really enjoyed. I think you were going to the writer's workshop, and I hope you enjoyed yourself. Okay, let's see. Poupon is great, Gina. Gosh, tickle in the throat, people, sorry. Okay. Karen says, hey, Cheryl, hello from Australia. Hello. I'm wanting to know how to get started in my spirit-inspired soul business. However, I don't feel comfortable in self-promotion. Any ideas on how to overcome this? Well, I don't quite know what your business is, but what I would say is this, Karen. I would say this to anybody who's providing some kind of service, whether it's coaching, intuitive work, therapy, anything like that. If you're getting started, I would make a list of 10 people you feel like you could really make a difference with. Invite them to partake in your business for free. So remember, Karen, you can't quit your day job, right? You've got to have a consistent source of income coming in so that you don't need the money. That's not how you want to grow a business, is desperate for money. Not a good idea. People smell desperation a mile away. 10 people that would really like to experience your spirit-inspired soul business. I don't know what kind of business it is, but you can feel free to post your website right here. And then I would really focus on giving them the best of you. Whatever service you provide it for 10 people for free. Let them know up front that the only thing you ask is that they take it seriously. Like if they have to keep working with you, they show up and they take it seriously. That they... and that they do whatever homework you give them, if there's homework, I don't know. And that if it works for them in some way, if they feel supported by it, if they, if they get results, that they'd be willing to share it with other people. And there may even be some people here, right here, who would benefit. So if you want to just post, what you do, your website, and if you're interested in working with 10 people for free, post your contact information. And anybody watching, if you read Karen's post and you're interested, get in touch with her. Because the reason I say that, Karen, is this. People who are uncomfortable with self-promotion are more focused on promoting than they are on being of service. When you connect with what you're really good at and how you can be of service to people, how their lives change, how you help them, and you actually document it. Like I would be keeping a journal of vignettes, success stories, case studies where you're really making a difference in people's lives. What people say to you, keep the emails so that you can read and remember. This has been happening to me lately. We have a lot of pollen here. Sorry. I want you to keep reading and remembering what it is you do that really is of service to people, so that you focus more on the gifts that you have to offer and less on, ooh, I'm self-promoting. I mean, you know, it used to make me crazy, for example, whenever I did a TV show. And if I did a TV show and they were talking about my work, and they were talking about one of my books, for example, Karen, when I first started out, I never wanted to like say, you know, this is my book, buy my book. And I mean, and I never do. I never go, hey, this is my book, buy my book. But I always felt self-conscious. Then one day I realized, after I had done a TV interview, and I think it might have been, I don't know, it wasn't like any of the big ones like Good Morning America or the Today Show, because they often showed the book. But I had done some interview. It was a fairly sizable interview, and they didn't show the book and they didn't mention the title. They said, we don't do that. But what happened was I got so many emails afterwards from people asking me about the book, wanting to know what the book's title was. And I realized, Karen, that I did people a disservice when I would share helpful information and not tell them how they could learn more or how they could benefit more from my services. So that's what I mean about being more focused on how you can be of service to others than your own self-consciousness about self-promotion. When in doubt, ask yourself, who needs my services? Who might be in pain? Who might be suffering? And how can I alleviate that suffering? Ultimately, that's what every good business does, is it alleviates suffering for its customers and its clients. And you need to be more focused on that. So I'll be curious to see what you do. I'll read about it afterwards. Let's see. Heidi, your question got cut off, sweetheart. I have an active online blog on holistic parenting. That's good. And do you have any resources? I don't know for what. Try posting again. Katrina says, I'd love to hear more about maintaining motivation when building a new business. That's why coaching is so powerful. I know when I was building my business, I always had a coach. I still have a coach that I turn to. I think whenever we don't want to do hard things alone, and building a business can be hard and scary and challenging. And so it's really great to have a champion. So I think coaching is great. If you can't afford a coach, then finding a partner, some other business owner, a friend who has a big project that they're up to that they feel nervous about, but they know they want to achieve it. It could be a friend that wants to lose weight and just wants motivation and accountability to go to a gym or to eat better. Partnering up with somebody. I did that in the beginning stages of my business, way before I ever coached, way before I ever wrote a book. I had 3 other people I was in a mastermind group with. You know, I read books by like Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich, and Norman Vincent Peale's work, and Zig Ziglar, you know, a lot of the old success writers, and they all talked about having mastermind groups. And so I had one. 3 other people in different fields. We met every single month. We talked about our businesses. We talked about what we were afraid of. We brainstormed for each other. We strategized. We committed to homework. And every single month we would show up talking about the homework we committed. And we would touch base with each other during the month if we needed like a boost, or we needed support, or we needed brainstorming, or, I love it. I think it was my sister Carrie, who's a really great coach, said to me, what she called it one time, sandwich support, where you talk to somebody before you're making a scary call and after you make the call, so that you know that regardless of what happens, you're going to feel, you're going to have somebody to process with, and you're going to feel better afterwards. So those are some of the things I would recommend, Katrina, to stay motivated. Don't try to do it on your own. Not a good idea. It's not as fun. You want to make it fun. Okay. Oh, thanks, Mark, for sharing this. And when I was a kid, I was afraid of thunderstorms. Yeah, I love you too. Thank you. And Sarah loves storms. We should call her, right, Mark? Okay, let's see. What else do we have here for questions? Wendy says, Cheryl, could you address job loss and how to start over? Thanks for years of great advice. You're welcome, Wendy. This often comes up. As a matter of fact, let me just make a note because I'm going to give you a resource. It often comes up. As a matter of fact, I was just talking to a colleague of mine and a friend of mine Jessica, Jess Sweet, and I'm going to put her resource on here. I've mentioned her before. She's a career coach, and she specializes in helping midlife career changers find work that they love and build the confidence and the stamina to go through the job search process. And I really appreciate what she's doing, because it's just so easy to feel like, oh, nobody wants me, or, to succumb to negative beliefs. So I would say to you the same thing I say about building a business. You don't want to go through job loss alone. It's very important that you get good guidance about if your resume is appropriate, how to interview well, how to network well. You want to get that kind of support from other people so that you're not out there screwing up and then thinking it's, you're defective somehow, when in fact you just need to, hone your skills. They need to get stronger. I think it's very important to have good friends who can be present for the emotional ups and downs without giving you advice, without trying to fix it, without, we all need places to just vent, right? Or to just process our emotional experience without being interrupted by, oh, but you should do this. I mean, and, I laugh because if Michael were here, he'd say, yeah, Cheryl, listen to your own advice. I'm always trying to, I love people and I want to help, but I am learning, especially in the last few weeks with some work that I've been doing, the power of presence. And we need people who can just be present while we talk about our fears and our anxiety and our loneliness and our trepidation about something like the job search process. So you want the emotional support, Wendy. And on those days where you're just not feeling strong enough emotionally, you don't want to do any job search work that's engaging with people. You don't want to be networking, or you don't want to hopefully have an interview. If you do, you want to get some emotional support beforehand. Better to spend time researching online, researching companies, taking skill assessments or personality assessments, things like that. It's okay. Don't push yourself when you don't feel emotionally well enough to do anything, out there engaging with people when you just don't feel confident enough. You don't have to do that. There's plenty of other things you can do. So I'll post Jessica Sweet's info in here afterwards so that you can, she's got a great blog. You can follow her on Twitter. You'll go to her website and you'll get all kinds of information. Sorry, there's like one half of the sky is black and the other half is completely sunny. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, Heidi, here we go. Oh, good. I'm glad you're back. Do you have any resources for help starting an online business? A coach, perhaps? I have an active blog on holistic parenting, and I'm building a following, but need advice around selling my courses. There's a lot of really great resources online, Heidi. Jeff Walker is somebody, I know he's got a course. I mean, God, all you have to do is Google. And by the way, there's a lot of great free resources online where you can just look at how people are marketing their online courses. And, I will say this, Heidi, it's, if you don't have an existing strong following, it takes time to build a business it takes time to sell online courses online without a following, unless you want to invest in things like Facebook ad buying, which plenty of people do. But you still have to know, you've got to really know your customer. You've got to then know the buzzwords, the keywords, the language. So I would start, and I've done this. I've actually done research where I've watched some free videos from people who are talking about online courses. And what's great about it is you sort of get exposed to some of the stuff. Some of it I look and I think, I'm never going to do that. That's never going to be me. And other stuff, I pick up some great ideas that I use with my, for my social media community. So, and yes, a coach can help. And I would think of a coach in terms of helping you to do the things you know you need to do to build your following. I mean, ideally, that's what you want. You want to build your email list is always number one priority over Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, because an email list, building an email list gives you direct access to your customers, and you don't have to rely on anybody else. And you don't have to worry about, faulty algorithms, not faulty algorithms, but just algorithms on Facebook. I've noticed my numbers go down over the last 6 or 8 months. These numbers, the Facebook Live numbers, are big. The post numbers that I used to get aren't the same as they were 6 months ago because the algorithms change. I don't want to rely on Facebook to reach the people who are really true followers and have been reading me for years and who want to continue to read me and are interested in my program. So I always focus on building an email list. You want to make sure on your website that you have a pop-up. I now put one on. I resisted for a long time, but I have a pop-up that invites people to join my online community, and I offer a free gift. You want to do that? I free, a sample of my work so that they can be, and that will be changing over time. I also think, Heidi, there's nothing wrong with really, I have this saying, I got this a long time ago from an author in Dallas, Texas. He was a fitness guy who became a star in his own backyard. This is way back, I'm talking 20 years ago, where he really focused on like dominating the Dallas, which is a big city, the Dallas community. And when he published his first book, he sold something like 50,000 books just in his community alone. That's a lot of books. Not a lot of authors sell that many books. It's rare. So I would encourage you to think about becoming a star in your own backyard as well, and really looking at how you can bring your work out into the world. So a coach is going to help you to stay in action, create an action plan, hold you accountable in a loving way, strategize with you. And I think it could be really helpful. I definitely do. So I'll post, you can check out my sister Carrie, and I will post her website. I'll also post the International Coach Federation website. They have a coach referral service there. I'll post that as well when we're done. And hopefully you can find somebody to support you. All right? And I think it's really great that you're doing work on holistic parenting. Also, Heidi, check out Kate Northrup. She's doing a lot of work around for mothers. And that's the other thing that's really good is if you can connect with people who are already catering to your existing audience, sometimes you can partner up. Maybe you could be on her blog, and she's got some great resources. And it would also good to see what she's doing. Just notice what she's doing as she builds her community as well. So, all right, let's see. What else do we have here? Oh, Diane says, how do you deal with the loss of your cat? I just lost my cat. He was 19. Oh, this always breaks my heart. And I really miss him, and I've not cried yet. Yeah, Diane, I was going to say it's one of my great fears, but losing my dad was a great fear, and that happened in November. I want you to know it will get better. And, but it just is really hard in the beginning. Animals especially, it's like close family members, people we live with. They're woven into the fabric of our lives. My little cat is always around somewhere. And so in 19 years, I'm so glad you had your cat for that long. And let me know, Diane, I'm putting you in my prayer book. And also post your cat's name. I would love to just know your cat's name. And I could say things to you, sweetheart, like the energy of your cat is with you. He or she is a little angel. But that doesn't help in the beginning. It's just hard. And letting yourself cry. Sometimes what I've done in the past, now I have no problem crying. I'm just a crybaby. And I'm proud of it. Because crying is good. It's healing. It just releases the sorrow. It releases the sadness. It's cleansing. Sometimes what I used to do when I couldn't cry and I knew I really needed to, I would find a movie, a sad movie. We've talked about this on Facebook Live before. I'm trying to think. Bridges of Madison County was one movie that made me bawl my eyes out. Terms of Endearment. Don't watch any animal movies. Don't do that. Oh God, here we go again. People, remember last Facebook Live there was a rainbow? There's a giant rainbow. Right? All right, let's see if we can see it. Diane, I'm going to get right back to you. Well, Diane, you know what? My God, let's just decide this is a... Here, sweetheart. You see it? And look, there's a double rainbow coming. Can you all see that? If you can see it, give me a thumbs up or a heart. Yeah, look at that, Diane. This happened last time when I was doing Facebook Live. There are two. There's two rainbows coming in. This happened the last time. Yeah, do you all see it? Yeah, there you go. Yeah, 2 weeks in a row, people. Last week, same time, we had a rainbow when I was talking to James. And look at that. And can you see the second one forming? Yeah. Oh my goodness gracious. Wow. Diane, sweetheart, I just want you to take that as a sign that your sweet cat is saying, hey, I'm here. And a double rainbow. I mean, and if that double gets stronger, I'll flip the phone back around again so you can see it. Finding some sad movies. People, some of you there, let's have you post some of the sad movies that helped you cry. Just getting started is really good. And allowing yourself. I found with grieving that the more I cry, the more quicker I move through the grief. And yes, and also, oh, your cat is Sweet Pea. Is that your cat? I'll have to look and see, Diane, if that's you. I find that tapping also is enormously helpful for the grief that feels overwhelming. And you know what, people, like, again, this rainbow is like last week. It's the most vibrant here. Let me see if I can show you again. The most vibrant rainbow. Well, it doesn't come through as much on the phone, but it's like the biggest, most vibrant rainbow I've ever seen. Unbelievable. Anyway, tapping can be enormously helpful. And so I would, yeah, it's a great view, isn't it? I'm so blessed. I love where I live. I would go to the Tap Away Your Anxiety video, Diane. I think that can be really helpful too. And I'll make sure that I post that. Yeah, happy Pride Month, somebody said. There you go. There you go. Okay. All right. Yes, I love Chris Pine too. He's a cutie. Let's see. Okay. Just looking through. Yeah, Alice, you should definitely watch My Name is Alice. Judy wants to know, how can we find out what our purpose here is? I get asked that all the time. Your purpose here is to grow and evolve as a spiritual being. That's your number one purpose. Your purpose is to take everything that happens in life, the losses we have, the fears that we experience, the joy, the incredible desire that gets quenched, all of that. Your purpose is to use all of that to grow and evolve, to understand yourself more deeply, to listen to the voice of your soul, to be of service, to be the embodiment of love. Like, first and foremost, that's our purpose. And I can't stress that enough. Yes, is part of why we're here to use our gifts and talents, without a doubt. But it's not the whole reason. I personally believe the reason we're here is to, like, take on this work that has you all gathered here with me today. How do I improve my life? How do I do what I love? How do I make my relationships healthier and stronger and closer and more connected? How do I build a stronger relationship with myself? How do I learn to risk loving when I know that I'm going to lose things like my sweet cat or, you know, my spouse or my child? You know, how are we going to use what happens to us in life to live more authentically? That's the main purpose we're here, Judy. So whether that means you go out and you buy yourself a self-help book and you read it and you do what it says and you start improving your life, or you take a workshop, or you you listen to these Facebook Lives and you implement some of what I'm sharing, either with you or with other people. It could mean you go to therapy. It could mean you hire a coach. I mean, all of the things we do to check under the hood, right, to understand ourselves better, to be better people in the world, is the most powerful contribution. Raising our level of consciousness is the greatest contribution we make to humanity and the greatest contribution we make in our own lives as well. So there's my little rant on that. My God, I just saw somebody said Doris. Please don't tell me the movie was My Name is Doris instead of Alice. Did I get that wrong? Ooh, big thing of lightning I just saw. Scares me. Okay, let's see. What else we got? Thank you, Lee, about Speak, Write, and Promote. Great information. Okay, let's see. Ari says, my question is, I'm struggling with giving priority to my passions, and I'm trying to stop doing lots of favors for other people. I voiced my concerns to a dear friend who, funnily enough, is one of those in the list who asked me for favors. It's things that she's not keen to do or is scared to do. I told her that helping out even for the easiest things is draining me. She didn't take it very well and took it personally. How do I learn to say no without hurting people? Well, you can't be responsible for whether or not people's feelings are hurt, but you can be responsible for how you communicate. The first way that we're responsible the first way we care for our relationships is by protecting our time and energy. So, for example, if a friend calls and you really don't have the time or the space or the energy to support that friend, you do that friend a disservice if you answer the phone. Better to let it go to voicemail and then call back when you're able. Or notice the tendency. People who have a tendency to always be doing favors for others or taking care of others have a tendency to habitually just sort of jump to it and automatically do that without stopping and saying, wait a minute, do I have the energy for it right now? Do I have the desire? Do I have the space? Do I have the time? If not, I'm going to wait until I do. So the first line of protection is just our own internal dialogue and assessment about whether or not, and catching ourselves before we just launch right in and want to support people. Secondly, how we communicate makes all the difference in the world. So Ari, it could be that you say to your friend, if I were coaching you in how to communicate, have this conversation with a friend, I would say, I really love you and our relationship is important to me. And I've noticed lately that I'm putting a lot of energy out supporting people and doing favors for people. And I realize I'm really doing them a disservice as well as myself because I end up feeling resentful. And I don't want that to happen with you or anybody else. So here's the deal. I've decided that I'm going to really be pulling back on my level of contribution. I'm going to actually take a break for a while I restore my own self-care. And I want you to know, I'm telling several of my friends this, I want you to know so you don't take it personally. It's not about you, it's about me needing to take care of myself. Now, if you deliver it that way, then you have no, we can't control how other people react. If somebody gets really angry or frustrated or, pissed off at us, that's their stuff. And all you need to do is just continue to say, gee, listen, I'm really sorry. This isn't about you. This is about me taking care of myself and protecting our friendship. I want to make sure that I don't do something that's going to cause me to feel resentful. So I would have that conversation with other people, let them know ahead of time, I need to take a break from giving so that I can restore my energy and give to myself. And when I'm ready, I'll let you know. And I promise you that I'll agree to support you only when I really can so that our relationship is protected. That's smart and strategic and skillful. Now, sometimes with friends who really do like to, that are constantly asking for something, you may need to say to them, listen, I know you'll probably forget we had this conversation, So I'll be sure to remind you when it happens again. Just give yourself the opportunity to be able to say that, so that when it does happen again, because it will, you can just say, oh, remember that conversation about the vacation I was taking from giving? I just wanted to remind you, I'm not going to be able to do that, but I love you. It's not about you. It's about taking care of me and really honoring our relationship. And just leaving it at that, Ari. I hope that's helpful. Okay. Thank you. Wow, Natalie, that's pretty impressive. She says, took a lot of your advice from a previous discussion about my partner's gambling addiction. I remember the conversation. I've joined a local group for my self-healing and have left the relationship. It's too toxic for me to continue. Bravo, girl. Bravo. Good for you. And while I'm sure it's not easy, you're choosing your life, and, you know, inadvertently, you may actually be helping to move him closer to getting the help that he needs. So, but I'm just so happy to hear that you took care of yourself and that you're getting support, and, you know, and that you're involved with a group. I think that's really smart too. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, Sarah knows what it's like to lose hair. Yeah, Diana, you're very welcome, sweetheart. Oh my goodness. Justine says, I lost my fiance to suicide last week and I'm falling apart. Please pray for me. Justine, I'm so, so sorry. And I hope you're getting some counseling. You really need to get some counseling. Start with your doctor. You know, go to your doctor. If you haven't already, let your doctor know what's going on. Let your doctor know that you feel like you're falling apart. You may need to get some medication initially to just support you through this. I will absolutely pray for you. I'm putting you in my prayer book. This is a therapy issue. It's not a coaching issue, but it is an issue that comes up in coaching. And I always direct people to good therapy and to doctors, and to, if you have a church community, a place that you're involved with, going to that community and letting them know that you just need support, I think is really important. And then, yes, let's all just, let's just take a moment, everybody, and just beam Justine love. You know, let's put some hearts across the screen and just let her know. I can't do the hearts, but I'm holding you in my heart, Justine. Let's just all just close your eyes for a minute and just imagine sending this beautiful white light of love to Justine. Let her feel our presence and our prayers and look at all those hearts, and our love and our support and our comfort. I would also, Justine, use the tapping video. That's going to help you. It's definitely going to help you. And look at all the hearts. People are so sweet. I have such a great community of loving people, and they're all sending you lots of love right now. Please, Justine, don't go through this alone. You really need to get support. Really important. Let's see. Okay. All right, so I'm looking at other, hey, Peggy and Kathy. And Lee, just thinking again. Regarding my 2 Huntington's messages, can you direct me to the correct person, such as Chris Northrup? Please, can you let me know you've seen me? I came from Scotland to meet you at Louise's 50th. Okay, Sandra, so I'm trying to find your questions because you're telling me you have... Here we go. I need a little clarity. My amazing stepdaughter has a 50-50 chance of having Huntington's disease. I don't know what that is. Louise's Blue Book has an affirmation, but I cannot understand why Louise included this. But Huntington's is hereditary. Fortunately, we just found out her big brother is clear. My lovely stepdaughter, can you advise what Louise meant by this affirmation? I can't. I'm so sorry, Sandra. I don't know. I'm not familiar with the disease. And I'm not familiar with the affirmation. If she included it, I would suspect it's because she had some experience with it. But that's only going to be a piece of the puzzle, right? You're going to also need some good support, obviously good medical support. Okay. So Valeria, hola, says, hi from Mexico. I love your blog and I'm studying literary creation. I want to be a writer and editor of my own magazine of spiritual matters. By now they are only dreams and I'm afraid they'll never come true. So how do you think I can start with that so I can make them true? What did you do to make yours of being a good writer? Thank you and kisses. Kisses to you too. Besos to you. Yo hablo español un poco. Valeria, here's what I would say. I would start writing in a journal every day an affirmation. And you can make up your own affirmation, but it could be something like, I have work. Let me think about this for a minute. Wait a minute, because one of the first things any of us need to do when we want to create something in our life, when we want to fulfill a dream, is we need to set an intention. Besos también. We want to set an intention. And we want to put that intention in writing. So here's the thing. To think an intention is one thing. To speak it gives it more power. Valeria, we have the rainbow is back again, just for you. Here, I'm going to show you. It just showed up again. It's so amazing to me that this happens, everybody. See that? It's been gone, and it literally just came up. So take that as a sign, darling. This is a good thing. It's blessing you, right? So we start with the intention in our mind. When we speak it, we give an intention more power. When we write it down, we give it even more power. And when we take action toward making it happen, we give it even more power. So those are the steps, and it starts with intention. It starts with you really, you don't have to believe it. You know, Louise Hay, I was just saying this to Michael last night. We were talking about something. Louise used to say to me, you know, Cheryl, people will start to do affirmations, and then they'll say, oh, affirmations don't work. And she said, it's usually because they stop doing it. You know, and in the beginning, when we're affirming intentions, we're usually doing it at a point where we don't necessarily believe it's going to happen. That's the whole point. You're installing new beliefs into that beautiful brain of yours, that beautiful mind and that beautiful heart, and eventually you'll start to believe it. Valeria, this is exactly what I did. I started keeping a journal when I was 12. I wrote all the time. I was too young to realize that I wasn't a writer or an author. I called myself a writer because I wrote all the time. And I actually think if you write all the time, you get to call yourself a writer. So you probably already are. You want to set an affirmation. I enjoy a successful career as a writer and editor. That could just be simple. And I would start by writing it 15 times in a journal every day. Now, if you really want to take it to heart, do it in the morning and at night. 15 times. I enjoy a successful career as a writer and editor, and I'm so happy. I'd probably add that to it. I enjoy a successful career as a writer and editor, and I am so happy. And then do me a favor, find a picture of a rainbow and paste it in the first page, because I want you to remember the rainbow that showed up here. Use that as an anchor. Every time you see a rainbow, decide that it's a sign that, oh, I need to affirm. Or I don't care if you see a picture of a rainbow, a real rainbow, somebody talks about a rainbow, whatever. You just say, I enjoy a successful career as a writer and an editor, and I'm so happy. And you want to keep affirming it over and over and over again. And then you want to tell people, you know what? I enjoy a successful career as a writer and an editor. I'm going to be a successful writer and editor, and I'm going to be so happy. So you're speaking it. You're writing it, right, with the affirmations, and then you're taking action already. You're studying. You want to be doing a lot of writing. The way you get good at writing is you write a lot. When I published my first book, Take Time for Your Life, the first editor that looked at my book proposal, hold on one second, said something really important to me. When she read my book proposal, she knew I had told her that I had been journaling forever. I think it was in my book. She said to me, that one of the first things she said is, your journal writing has paid off. This is Marilyn. She's since been my editor, my personal editor ever since. She said, your journal writing has paid off. You taught yourself how to write well by keeping a journal. And I remember thinking, oh my God, if I had known that all those years of writing was actually teaching myself a craft, and that it was going to pay off, that I'd actually get better at it, I would have been thrilled. So I'm telling you, Valeria, that the writing you do now is going to make you a better and better writer. And there's a great little book. I just thought of this. I think it's, you know what, I'm going to look it up. I want to say it's How to Write So People Will Listen, or something like that. I know I have it in my library. I don't even know if it's still in print, but it's this great little book. Like, I want to say it's How to Talk So People Will Listen, but I don't think that's it. It's How to Write So People Will Listen. I'll look it up. It's a little paperback. I don't even know if it's still in print, but I just remember it was a very influential book to me early on in my career, because it talked about the simplest, most accessible, easy reading takes a lot of editing as a writer. I mean, I can't tell you how much editing I do in order to get my books to the point where they're accessible and easy to read. So just keep writing, Valeria. And I'm going to put you in my prayer book too, and I'm putting Valeria as a successful writer and editor, and editor, and so happy. So now you're in my book too. So expect a miracle. There we go. All right, my dear. Let's see. Lee, thank you very much for all of the notes that you're taking. You're so sweet. Kathy, I know you do that too. Okay, so we've got a few more minutes. So Grace de la Cruz Kitchen says, aloha, Cheryl. Aloha. I recently turned 45 and I'm at a crossroads. I had my son 5 years ago, and after a miscarriage 3 years ago, I've been undecided about having another baby. After recovering from adrenal exhaustion, I'm at a place now where I'm being called to be a mother again. I just feel so discouraged by my age and the failed attempts we've had so far. Should I keep going or just give up? Oh, well, Grace, I certainly couldn't tell you what to do, because having a baby, because I know what'll happen. I'll say, yeah, go have a baby. You'll get pregnant, you'll have a baby, and then when they're like 14, you'll be calling me going, what did you do? Okay, I'm totally kidding. But I've got a great resource for you. Years ago, I worked with a woman who was a mind-body specialist who was just like a firecracker. Her name was Niravi Payne, and I'm going to put her in the resource section as well. Niravi Payne, P-A-Y-N-E. She wrote a book. It's called something like The Whole Person Fertility Program. And she was a therapist, mind-body specialist, and Chris Northrup, I think, referred me to her, or a colleague of Chris's. She was an expert at helping people who couldn't get pregnant to get pregnant. And I remember I went to see her for something else. I had a health issue that I was trying to get to the emotional root causes of. I wasn't trying to get pregnant. But she was known for taking couples who were labeled infertile or who had trouble with miscarriages. And she had an unbelievable success rate. And I remember she would say, don't you ever tell me that a woman's too old to have a baby. Like, you know, she had so many people with later age pregnancies that were enormously happy and okay. So, and she's now passed on. God bless her. She's in spirit form. She was feisty. She lived to her 80s, and she was passionate about helping people. And she captured the process that she used in her book. And I would really encourage you to check it out. So the Whole Person Fertility Program, Niravi Payne, I'll put it in the post here, and you'll be able to find it. And, you know, don't make this decision alone, and don't just make it with your partner. I'd go do some therapy. I would find a therapist who specializes in helping women who have questions about pregnancy or who have had challenging pregnancies. Yeah, thank you. Somebody just said I conceived at 43. Yeah, if you're watching me and you've conceived later in life, could you let Grace know? That would be really great to know. I just completely forgot what I was saying. Grace, it went right out of my head. Oh, finding a therapist who specializes in that. If you go to Psychology Today, to their website, they have a Find a Therapist. God, I'm going to have so many resources on this one today. Find a Therapist section. It's actually really good. And look for a therapist who specializes in fertility issues and helping women to make decisions about, and maybe you and your partner can go. I think that'd be a great idea. You know what else I'm going to do too is I'm actually going to put Ed Shea, who's a family therapist. I'm going to give you his resource as well. I'm going to give you his phone number because he doesn't have a website anymore. Ed is in his 70s and he's an unbelievable therapist. And look at this, Grace, you've got people telling you about having their babies later in life. This is awesome. Let it inspire you. Ed is very close to Harville Hendrix and uses Harville Hendrix's dialogue process to help couples work through challenging situations in their lives and to help them think through tough life questions. And he might be a great person. I'm telling you, if you called Ed Shea and you told him you and I spoke on this Facebook Live and that you wanted to just have him facilitate a dialogue with your spouse about pregnancy, he'd say, get him on the phone right now. He's so committed. He loves doing this work and he does it just on a part-time basis and he's just a sweetheart. So anyway, I'll give you his resource as well, Grace, and that should be helpful. All right, everybody, we're coming up on the end. Whoa, did you see that? Big flash of Mark, I'm going to put you in my prayer book, type 1 diabetes. It's okay. You're going to be fine. A good diet. You have all kinds of control over your health, sweetheart. You're not a victim to that. Yeah, Ed Shea is SHEA, and I'll give you his phone number. And let's see. Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay, so I know I was just looking to see if I had... Okay. You know what? We need to end. So give me a little bit to put the... to post. I've got to wait for Facebook to upload this, and then I'll post resources. I so appreciate you're all here. The rainbow is back again. Okay, let's see if I can show you. It's raining pretty hard. Yeah. And this one comes all the way down into, wow, there's a double rainbow now too. Can you guys see that? I don't know if you can or not. I can see it, but you know, you're looking through a screen with a lot of water. That's part of the problem. But boy, today's just filled with rainbows, people. How awesome is that? Remember, sign up for the newsletter. Hit the sign up button if you haven't. You can listen to me and Bruce Lipton talk about the science of self-care, which is pretty amazing. It'll take me a little bit of time to get these resources posted, but I'll do that. And in the meantime, I so appreciate, thank you for all the hearts. Thank you for being here with me. I really, I'm so grateful to have all of you. And it's wonderful that we can communicate this way. If you look at the post below this, I announced the Healthcare by the Sea retreat, the next one that's coming up in October. It's all about feeling alive and vital and pleasure and just falling in love with the body. That's what this one's going to be about, this retreat. I'm really looking forward to it. And you can get more information in the post below. But in the meantime, I'll be here next week. So make a note. Remember, check the newsletter. I'll post it. Usually the blog newsletter comes out on Sunday night. Yeah, there we go, people. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Lots of love to all of you. Take good care. Bye.